Alright, first I want to start by saying Kala Lalia Hawa, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of James Great Stone, and salutation to Akim out there, pushing the truth in sincerity, the hopeful elect. Shalom, this is the brother Kanan from James, Jamaica. Once again, uh, and as you can see on screen, this lesson is going to be based on an article that came out on the Loop News. Well, basically, is it more likely in Jamaica, centered around Jamaica, where the Prime Minister of Jamaica is basically saying that it's time to relocate some vulnerable communities. Now, why this lesson? All right, we're going to get into that. Now, this is the time period that we're living in where if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, news is just not news to you, right? Because to the regular Jake out there, that's you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are still sleeping, and news is just news to you. Oh yes, there was some flooding going on, which the article I'll get into, and you know, it's just the norm to you guys. But for those who have vision, eyes to see, ears to hear, and are in the know, not sleeping, we are aware of agendas and schemes that are being created and that are being implemented under your nose. And I mean, the Bible said the prudent forsake the evil and edit himself, but the simple pass and are punished. You know what I mean? And it's not time to be, it's never a time to be simple, especially now. The time is evil and a lot of things is taking place rapidly. We have to be on the alert to basically can scope out, you know what I mean? Now we're gonna read the article and you know we're gonna show you say, oh, this looks like a regular news, and then we're gonna show you the agenda behind it. You know what I mean? Alright, so let's start off. Alright, before I start off with that, let's read the scripture. Alright? This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 1. It says, but of the time and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Right? Verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Alright? The blind will not escape. You are not prudent to foresee the evil and hide yourself under Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Let's continue verse 4. But ye brethren, are not in darkness, speaking unto the elect, the 144,000 and a third, that they should overtake you as a thief. Right? You are all the children of light, meaning you have this knowledge, the truth, the Bible, teachings in this correct form, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. And while you're watching, you're gonna see what? News. And you're gonna be sober about the news that you're seeing, because you know that there's an agenda behind it. Now let's get into the article on screen. It says time to relocate some vulnerable communities, said Holness. Alright, and this was dated November 16. Alright, it says the time has come for a national debate on debate. The time come for national debate, right? On the likely relocation of residents from unplanned communities. Unplanned communities. That is talking about squatters, people where just live wherever they want to live, and for most part in the in the cities, those are ghettos. People just build house and beside drains and all of that. If you know Jamaica, you understand what I'm saying. Alright? But this is what he's talking about. Unplanned communities that often leave them at risk of flooding and other catastrophic, sorry, let me read that again. Yes, it says relocation of residents from unplanned communities that often leave them at risk of flooding and other catastrophic events caused by natural disasters. It said that debate should begin in the nation's parliament. According to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, he made the statement while addressing the House of Representatives recently, with the devastation caused by a recent weather system, namely Tropical Storm Zeta and Tropical Storm Eta, which unleashed torrential rains over the entire island just over 2 weeks. And if you go YouTube and you'll see some clips of places being washed away, roads giving way, um, landslide, crazy landslide. Yeah, you can just check that out, or if you're living in the country, you already know. All right. Which unleashed torrential rains over the entire island just over 2 weeks apart. Images of flood homes, some halfway filled with mud, washed out roads and bridges, flattened crops, and loss of livestock are still fresh. Alright? Alright, I'm not gonna read everything because I just wanna you see the article, you can jump through it. Alright, but just look at the whole idea, what the whole agenda that these men are pushing, and look how them putting it. Them putting it as if there is, we just come to the realization that we need to talk about this and consider things into prospect, when that's not the case. They've been know about this. They've been making plans, and I'm gonna get to that. All right. So let me read, as I'm not gonna read everything. It says, we see houses being destroyed on riverbanks, and obviously it's going to come to the feet of the parliament again to replace these houses, to assist those persons that have been dislocated. But the question will have to answer in the house, and the cabinet will have to answer is, should we seek to relocate those persons, or should we seek to rebuild in the same spot? Hell no. You're not gonna build your house near a river. They're not gonna build a planned community near a river. Or on across a drain where it's likely to overflow and cause disaster. So there's no debate about it. They already know what they're going to do. Alright, not wasting a lot of time on this because I've already gone 7 minutes in the video. Alright. So but you can read through it. Alright, let me get to the point of what the video is about. Alright. Now, look at this. Alright. This is Agenda 21 or Vision 2030. And you might hear your government or your prime minister speaking about this consistently. You see it on TV often, but you don't really take heed to it, because news is just news. This is no concern. Oh, news again, so you don't really catch your attention. But I'm gonna show you something here. All right, this is the United Nations Department of Economy and Social Affairs, and they have 17 goals that they are trying to establish worldwide. And every country is a part of this agenda. Every country is taking part in this agenda. You can look to some of the goals. Goal 1, no poverty. Zero hunger. Yeah, some of the goals intertwine. But them have 17 goals. All right. Now the goal that we're gonna highlight here is goal number 11. It says, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. And this is all under sustainable development. Alright, so that's just the front page. Now I'm gonna click on the next page to get into some more details to show you certain things. Alright, remember now, this agenda been out there for some time now, but these prime ministers are talking like, so this, what they might think about or debate about is something new, being devils. That's how I tell you, don't trust in these people because they are devils. Alright, this is says target 11. We'll get into the point. Alright, let's start from 11 and 1. It says safe and affordable housing. It says the full title of target is, by 2030, Vision 2030, ensure access for all to adequate, safe and affordable housing and basic service and upgrade slums. Think about that part. Vulnerable, ghettos, slums, they are the same thing. Unplanned um, housing, so to speak. And as you can look, you see the picture here, you see people live on, this is not Jamaica, but this is an example of what they are talking about, you know what I mean? So, we're gonna have to get relocated. Now, in Jamaica, when I think about slums, because I said this thing intertwined with different aspect, because a lot of the slums them are gonna basically change. Now, not that we're supporting slums or anything like that or ghettos, but the whole notion or way to life that you guys are known to, it's unfolding, it's basically being destroyed in front of you. That's why even with the dons in ghettos and them things, you see all of them dons that get pulled down because them are destroyed. That whole order, there's a new world order coming to you people, and you're not aware of it because you're not focusing. You're not listening to your news, and you're not aware, you're not in tune with the Heavenly Father to know what is His plan and what the devil is planning also. You know what I mean? Which the bigger picture is the Most High plan. Alright? No, I don't want to talk too long. I want to show you some things and get to some scriptures. You know what I mean? It says, this target as an indicator is the proportion of urban population living in slums and living in slums or souls, right? People who live in slums have no access to improved water, access to improved sanitation, sufficient living area, and durable of housing. Now you're gonna say, okay, what is wrong about um, moving people out of ghettos and putting them into good homes? Ain't that what we're voting for these ministers for? In a sense, yes, and it sounds like a good news, but when you understand the whole agenda, then you realize that look, these devils are trying to bring peace by destroying you. They're trying to bring peace by taking away your rights, trying to bring peace by turning you into a perfect slave. You know what I mean? Because all of this lead to what? The RFID chip, the mark of the beast. Because you're gonna have to subject yourself to be a part of this society. And the key for this society is the RFID chip. You know what I mean? Not only that, well, that is the main thing, but if you're not taking the chip or not a part of, you're not gonna get these benefits. You know what I mean? And you're gonna be an outcast and an enemy to society, which they're gonna try to destroy you because this one world government is either you're with them or not. All right? Now, the whole saying of bringing stability and sustainability and peace to society, they have a cost. You have to worship their means, meaning you're a servant to their means in full effect, which I'm going to get to Revelation, but let's continue. All right? Now, I was talking about the dons and all. You see, these things are taking place in front of your eyes. The anti-gang law. All these laws are basically bringing a new world order in front of your eyes, and you're not seeing it. So when the bigger picture goes of booms and slam in your face, you're gonna be lost. You're not gonna know what hit you because you were sleeping. You know what I mean? It's like you're sleeping and an earthquake shake, and you wake up and it take you to realize that an earthquake you actually in before you can act fast enough to protect yourself. Or even worse, something where that's gonna take your life. You know what I mean? Alright, so I'm gonna pause there, right? You can reach through and show them and show you say, yo, look, yeah man, we have good plan for you and everything. You know what I mean? Good housing. You don't want a house. You don't want to live in a one good community. You know what I mean? Whether a step chair gate, RFID chip buzzer going off to prove that, oh yes, John Tom just stepped in. He took 500 steps today and his heart rate is beating quite good. tomorrow you need to take another 500 step, and you have something telling you that you need to do this or need to do that, when you really just want to sit down and rest. You know what I mean? That's how the system, that's where the system is heading. Now it sounds weird and far-fetched to the persons, but when we've been telling people about this, these things that just been taking place now, the government planning to relocate it um, to to smart cities, and you need to understand what the term smart cities mean. Everything is basically going smart. You know what I mean? You are gonna be connect to a grid, and as I said about the 500 steps, and not everything, them know where you eat, or how much hours you sleep, every single thing that you did are doing, they will be aware of it, because these men are trying to be like gods, knowing all things, which lead me to the next scripture. All right, this is Ezekiel. Ezekiel 28 and verse. I'm gonna start from 1. I'm just gonna jump to the point. All right, verse 3. It said, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee." And this is talking to the king of Babylon, which king of Babylon today is who? So-called white man. Where's Babylon? America. You know what I mean? Babylon just mean confusion, or the word Babel means confusion, which America is that confusion. You know what I mean? Democracy, the freedom to do whatever you want. You know what I mean? They push that agenda. So they are they are Babylon today, Mr. Babylon the Great. He said, "With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic," you know what I mean, trading, "as thou increase thy riches, and thine art is lift up because of thy riches. Therefore thus said the Lord, because thou hast set thine art, because thou hast set thine art as the art of God." Them man think so them a God, them want to know everything what you do, when you're doing it, and tell you what to do from what not to do. Right? It says, "Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, and the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness." Alright? Anyways, the most I'm going to show the so-called white man that he's not God. You know what I mean? But let's get to some more precepts. This is Psalm 64 and verse 5. It says, "They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily." Yeah, man, we have to set some trap, make it look good, because a trap have to look decent and presentable for draw the whoever they want to get trapped into the trap. You know what I mean? So simple-minded persons are saying, "Oh yes, finally, I'm going to live for one gully bank, and I'm going to get trap a woman, and I'm going to get no more hunger. Hooray, finally, no more hunger." You know what I mean? And all these things are good, but you're not looking at the other parts of the deception, the trap. You have to take a RFID chip. You have to give away your rights. You have to get vaccine, no matter what is in it. You know what I mean? When them say move, you move. When them say don't move, don't move. You're gonna be a puppet to live in a society like that. You know what I mean? Alright, let's continue. Verse 6, Psalm 64, verse 6. "They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep." Yeah, man, them man know things where you never think them know, man. Everything they must scope out upon you. You know what I mean? Verse 7. "But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away." Alright? Now let me just go to the next precept. Alright, it says Daniel 8 and start from 25. You know? Alright, it says, "And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand." Yeah, man, we go come to your country and we go build it. Smart cities, 5G internet, you know what I mean? And Yes, you got beautiful roads and you know if you drive on a thing, but the amount of pothole you can't drop in a monthly. You know what I mean? Or every day you have to go to work. So them are gonna bring a solution to you to the problems that they created, you know what I mean, or help to establish, because even the weather that you're seeing taking place now, it is by design, because these men are controlling weather, you know what I mean, with the harps and other instruments that they've created to modify weather. So you're getting a lot of drought, and then when the rain come, instead you get good rain, you get a lot of rain where you look at crop them get affected again. So them been a suffer from no water, and then rain come, boom. So you look more hunger. You're no more dependent on these men for sustainable living. So them say, okay, look here. Don't worry, head farmers. We will take care of you. You know what I mean? Just take a chip. You know? Just take a chip. That's how them gonna bring the news to you guys, you know? You, you, you want to eat? Just take a chip. That's how they're gonna bring it. Alright? Okay. Alright, let's continue. And he shall magnify himself in his art, and by peace shall destroy many. Yeah, yeah, gonna people go fall for it, you know. Think of peace and safety. Oh, we get new home, we get nah. Destruction will come to you. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Alright? And this is just an example to show the white man standpoint. The man was a big attack peaceful, but real and truly, if you look at him action, the man was a bring war. A disaster, who could destroy the earth, who's causing all of these world record events such as storms, still a part of storms, who's causing earthquakes, you know what I mean, who's causing the earth to wobble the way it is by destroying it. So-called white man, and the Bible tells you that the most they can destroy them will destroy the earth, you know what I mean. So a video that I'm going to play, and there's a lot of information on the look of Agenda 21, because the entire New World Order is a part of this. If you want to know where the country is heading, or where these men are heading, just read Agenda 21, Vision 2030. Just look it up. Them not hide it. Them are tell them vision, and them when them not only up tell them and do it under your nose. You know what I mean? All right, so let's play the video.
The climate change and natural hazards. The government of Jamaica is undertaking a major development plan to support the country's economic growth, facilitate new opportunities, and build resilience to climate change and natural hazards. This includes the design and establishment of Jamaica's next city, a major strategic plan for the country, and the Urban Development Corporation is the agency charged with the responsibility to make this long-term development happen.
Look, this is 2019. This is the video too. Obviously, it's them have them images there before, alright, whatever. Right? That is Andrew Holness. You're seeing having this discussion about smart cities.
Undertaking a major development plan to support the country's economic growth, facilitate new opportunities, and build resilience to climate change and natural hazards. This includes the design.
This is Andrew Holness getting the blueprint of what is to come. Green Climate Fund Private Investment Conference 2019. We think of fund them. We think I give them the blueprint. Remember, this is a worldwide thing. Every country is following this blueprint. So when them come out in a 2020 or whenever time they come to you and talk, oh, we're gonna think of debating about, it's just a show. They already know what is the goal. This is why we say that these men are devils, because they're deceiving you to let you think that, look, them actually are thinking about what they're doing. They already know what they are commanded to do. and will do it accordingly because they are puppets. Alright?
And establishment of Jamaica's next city, a major strategic plan for the country, and the Urban Development Corporation is the agency charged with the responsibility to make this long-term development happen.
We've got two cities, that's Kingston and Montego Bay, and just by their sheer location of being coastal, they are exposed to certain natural risks and hazards.
Oh!
What we're looking for is an urban center, not a city, that does not have similar kind of risks.
Although small islands bear the least responsibility for climate change, we stand to lose the most as a result of its effects, owing partly to our small size and fragile economies. In addition, our populations, critical infrastructure, and key economic assets are highly exposed to extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and other hazards. The recent destruction wrought by Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas is the latest example of how vulnerable small island states are to these effects. As one of the responses to these threats, the government is looking to develop a smart city that is resilient to climate change and natural hazards.
Put it again. The world is telling the government to develop a smart city. They are not planning this. This is not Jamaica plan. This is not Andrew list. This is not coming out of the nose of Andrew list. You know what I mean? This is not his idea, nor any member of the government in Jamaica idea. But yet they bring it across as if it is the NIDS, not their idea. That is a part of the Agenda 21, the Vision 2030, one identity that will transfer into the RFID chip. ID, RFID, radio frequency identification chip. And if you look, currently you're hearing everything going what? Smart. And businesses are basically going what? Digital. Logging onto the grid. You don't need to use cash anymore. You don't need to update any info or data by papers anymore. You can just go on the web and everything will be on the grid. That is the new world order.
A next city that is designed to be the new hub of national enterprise, government administration, as well as a technology network. The development of a next city
As well as a technology network, which means the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. No, as I told you before, if you just look at news and you're not in the know when them attack, things fly over your head. But once you understand what them say and you hear these things, they're not saying that, oh, we're gonna give everybody RFID chip. No, because that's gonna cause a chaos. And people are gonna say, oh, you're crazy. But when we tell you that, look, we're gonna give you a smart community and you're gonna have good homes and no hunger, you're gonna say, oh yeah. But you remember I said they're gonna give you RFID chip tonight too. You know what I mean?
comes at a significant juncture in our nation's infrastructure and economic development, particularly when there are several major national development projects, including large-scale investments at Nain St. Elizabeth, Vernon Field in Clarendon, and the Bernard Lodge and Caymanas developments in St. Catherine scheduled for implementation. The assessments regarding suitable locations and economic bases for the next city will include these major projects in support of cohesive national urban development. This in keeping with Vision 2030 and Jamaica's thrust towards becoming the major investment and logistics hub in the Caribbean.
Our existing cities, Kingston, Montego Bay, are already densely populated, congested, and there's a tremendous strain on the existing infrastructure, the water, the sewage, the roads, and the public amenities and services. Right? So from this point alone, planning a next city will help to ease the strain on the existing cities and create more space for the country to grow.
The UDC, along with its partners, defined 3 phases that will lead to the development of this next city.
Phase 1 has 2 components. It's called Phase 1A, multi-criteria site suitability model, and phase 1B, the horizon scan and foresighting. Phase 1A is 100% complete, and phase 1B, we're about 15% complete. The second phase is called master planning. Phase 3 is the implementation.
On the phase 1A, we utilize spatial data from various government agencies to best guide us in determining which location in Jamaica will be best suited for this city. Phase 1B involves looking at the global economy and to see what is the best fit for this new city and how we can seek to engage from now those businesses to be a part of the city.
When phase 1B is complete, then both phases A and B will determine the site for the next city.
Phase 2 involves taking the sites, basically looking at all aspects, looking at what type of infrastructure, whether it is roadways, whether it's rail, whether it's anything that will be required to meet the needs of the future. Phase 3 will bring the next city into life. In this phase, we'll see the rollout of the infrastructure, the roads, the economic activity, the residential communities, and everything that will make the city the place that we want it to be, a place to live, raise families, do business.
The government of Jamaica, through the Urban Development Corporation, planning our next city safe, smart, and sustainable.
Alright, so you hear it. Just for you to siphon, find out what they're really saying. It's Revelation 13 and verse 16, and he says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count his number, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 Now let's get into some information here. Alright, so we told you in numerous videos, the mark there is what? The RFID chip, it goes to what? Karagma. You know what I mean? And then from Karag, which basically the word itself is telling you exactly how they're gonna, this chip is going to be. You know what I mean? Karagma is basically a stamp or imprinted mark. And if you go into the word Karagma, you get the word Karax, which basically is showing you that it's gonna be inserted with a stake or peel. You know what I mean? Basically, you're gonna be the chip is gonna be inserted into you using a syringe or something like a needle. You know what I mean? And there's videos out there to show. And then you go into grapho, which is gonna show you that look. This item that will be injected or inserted into your right hand or left hand or wherever in your forehead will have information, written information here. Your biometrics, your name, banking account, every single thing that has to do with you will be on that chip. Radio frequency ID. You know what I mean? And that's what the world is heading to. So you can just do the research. You know what I mean? Don't be docile, don't be dumb, don't be simple, and pass on and then get punished. You know what I mean? Be a prudent person, a wise person, and hide yourself under Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Again, I want to say double honors to the apostles and those of James Stone and to you who came out there pushing the truth in sincerity. Shalom.